Hello and welcome to another video podcast series from Touch the Book. I'm Todd Maffin. I'm in Vancouver. That's Mark Blevis. He's in Ottawa. And over the last few weeks, we've been chatting back and forth about some of the ideas in the book, but also just kind of some broader topics about touch. If this is your first time hearing about the book is called Touch: 5 Factors to Growing and Leading a Human Organization, and it's really about, bringing humanity back to business. There's so many instances where you put business technology into your company or organization to solve important problems, HR, customer service, legal, and things. But every layer of technology you add, you remove a layer of humanity. And the goal of this book is to solve that problem, is to still use the tools.
It's a trend that we've kind of been on since, I don't know, like the 80s, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you and I both in our respective businesses do that for clients anyway, try to make the digital world a little more human again. So we thought this week we'd talk about legal things. Because it's one of those accepted wisdoms, I guess, that if someone infringes your trademark, that you have to really go after them in order to protect the trademark. And there's some mythology around that. It's somewhat true, somewhat not true. My favorite example, Mark, do you remember this guy? This was this college student in Tempe, Arizona. Did I ever tell you this?
Which one is this?
I think it's in the book as well. So this poor college student, he's broke, right? And he doesn't have any...
Oh, yeah, this is the FedEx story?
This is the FedEx story.
Yeah, this is a brilliant story. I can lean back and listen.
And he didn't have any money for furniture, so he went to this dumpster outside and he found these big FedEx boxes. I don't think I have any around, but and he built furniture out of this FedEx boxes, like actual furniture. And he posted.
There must be some pictures online, maybe even that we can put in.
Sure, I'll throw them in. And FedEx sent him a cease and desist. FedEx said, stop using our brand. Which, and I talk about this sometimes in presentations to groups. So I always ask them, so forget that FedEx sent him a letter, right? And you see this guy who's, probably 190 pounds, lying on a couch that he made of FedEx boxes. Mark, what does that say about FedEx boxes to you?
Do I have to answer the question? Okay, I'll answer it.
Yeah.
Strong, durable.
They're strong, exactly.
Yeah, and you can make furniture out of it.
Yeah, they're so strong you can make furniture out of it and lie on it. Your shipment will be safe with our boxes. Have you got a dog there?
Yeah, there's a little bit of activity. We're on the main floor here. We're in the library.
Yes, you are, yes. So, anyway, that's kind of a crazy one, but there is a right way and a wrong way to do this. Do you have any examples of legal stuff that are good? I'll tell my Jack Daniels story in a moment.
Oh, well, you see, that's the one I was going to tell. I know
tell it then. You do it.
Okay, so there's a great story in the book about somebody who created some artwork that was modeled on the Jack Daniels label, which, again, this is an institution that has visual branding. It's this brand recognition that you get visually by looking. In fact, I did a podcast or presentation at PodCamp years ago on audible branding, right? So how people use audio cues in order to put people in the moment. It's like, oh yeah, that's Duracell or that's Intel or that's Avon was the fun one because I can't remember the last time I heard the Avon doorbell. Right. But anyways, so they used this visual branding and adapted it using the Jack Daniel's style of their black label for their drink, for their I won't call it whiskey, but it's not even whiskey, it's bourbon, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so Jack Daniels became privy to this, and rather than send a note saying that cease and desist, this is bad people, they appealed to the person's appreciation for the brand by saying, you know what, we really love what you're doing, and you can appreciate that we have to be very careful with this brand because as people like you who appreciate it, if we gave everybody the opportunity to change it, it might create some confusion and some problems, and so we'd be grateful if you would. It was the cover of a book, wasn't it?
It was great. I've got it here. Let me read the letter. I don't normally read out entire letters, but it's fairly short, and I think this response went viral for all the right reasons.
Exactly.
So here is the response. Very human response, still protecting the trademark. The Jack Daniels said. So they said, we are certainly flattered by your affection for the brand, but while we can appreciate the pop culture appeal of Jack Daniels, we also have to be diligent to ensure that the Jack Daniels trademark are used correctly. Given the brand's popularity, it will probably come as no surprise that we come across designs like this on a regular basis. What may not be so apparent, however, is that if we allow uses like this one, we run the very real risk that our trademark will be weakened. As a fan of the brand, I'm sure that is not something you intended, nor would want to see happen. So, first paragraph, friendly but firm, right?
Yep.
Still protects the trademark. Still says, listen, we love what you're doing, but there's a legal issue.
There's no cease and desist at all. There's not even labeled a cease and desist letter.
Exactly.
Right.
So here's paragraph 2, and this is why it went viral for all the right reasons. In order to resolve this matter, because you are both a Louisville neighbor and a fan of the brand, we simply request, because this was a book cover design that this author had done, so it was the cover of the book, we simply request that you change the cover design when the book is reprinted.
That's right.
If you would
so they're not even saying pull them off the shelves and destroy them.
No. Yeah. If you would be willing to change the design sooner than that, including on the digital version, we would be willing to contribute a reasonable amount toward the costs of doing so. So, the lesson here is clear, right? When someone does something amazing and unofficial with your brand, you should embrace them. You shouldn't threaten them. It's amazing.
And how many people who enjoy bourbon or whatever are now going to go out and go, you know what? Next time I go to the liquor store, I'm going to get myself a Jack Daniels.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, and not that we're encouraging buying alcoholic beverages, but the point here is that there's a feel-good feeling that goes with that letter. Yeah. There's something very human and relatable about that. People will pile on very quickly to institutions that do the wrong thing, like Domino's Pizza or FedEx, or there's so many examples of brands that get it wrong, and they will the masses will go online and make short work of these organizations. So a very how much effort did that take? Really?
No, it was brilliant. And in the book we've got the way the book is structured is that it's really in 3 sections. So first is we cover the 5 factors. Oh, we need to talk about what the 5 factors are at some point.
We'll do that in a future show.
Well, but it is TOUCH, right? It's an acronym. So we cover off what those 5 factors are to growing and leading a human organization. Then we've got this audit in the center of it, and it's basically a survey of yourself that you can do on your own company with a scoring system to figure out how human your organization is already. And then the meat of the book is business horizontal. So we've got a chapter on communications, a chapter on customer service, a chapter on leadership, chapter on legal, as we're talking about now, on human resources. Every layer of your business, we go into how that area can be more human. And in the legal section, obviously, we tell the story of Jack Daniels. We also talk about how to create a human social media policy. A lot of legal organizations are trapped with are not trapped, but are given the task of creating a social media policy for their staff, which is to say, here's what you post, here's what you can't post, and there's a human way to do this, and often it's difficult. And then we've got, in every chapter as well, we've got this little section called On the Horizon, which is 3 things that are related to that, that are coming down in the future. So in the legal section, we talk about how biometric authentication can help legal services, the emergence of what we call the digital shingle, and a couple of other things.
And we also cite examples of other organizations that do it badly. Within in the legal section, and also organizations that do it well. And so there's plenty of stories to share, and they're all in the book. And the book comes out in October. You can already pre-order it at on Amazon, at Chapters, on the iBooks bookstore. We have a link right somewhere around there.
I'll put it in.
And
bit.ly/touch the book. Yeah.
And anybody who has a question that they'd like us to answer in a future podcast, future video cast, somebody they'd like us to interview, please let us know, and we will, because we're going to ramp up production of our podcasts in September and October. And as we promote the book and as we start doing speaking engagements, we'll be covering some of the events that we're at as well.
We've been really fortunate as well. We've given the book to a few people, a few thought leaders in the industry. We've been really fortunate by people who've read it and are saying some really flattering things about it. Mitch Joel, Chris Brogan, Julian Smith, Shell Holtz, Scott Monty, who is famous, used to run digital for the Ford Motor Company. All these people weighing in, reading the book, and so far loving it. So we're really honored to get those. I think didn't Mitch call it a perfect blueprint?
Hold on, I will. Awesome. I keep these things near and dear to my heart. So they're very close. I haven't memorized them all, but do you want me to read Mitch's?
Yeah, let's do that.
Mitch says, "It's time to bring that." Oh, this is an extract, so I should read his whole thing. Here it is. It's been over a decade since social media changed the way the businesses connect with their consumers and their employees. So where are we at? In Touch, Mark Blevis and he put me first. Mark Blevis and Todd Maffin argue that even though technology has enabled us to connect like never before, we've actually moved in the opposite direction. We've removed the real and human connections. It's time to bring that human touch back to business. This book lays out the perfect blueprint. Want to be more human? Start with touch.
Great. These guys, are really good at writing blurbs. It's a kind of an art form unto itself. Anyway, so
we'll get them to ghostwrite our next book.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to be all blurbs. That's all it's going to be. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in a week or so with another video podcast.